Yeah, welcome down to the farm. This is Bobcat. We're down here having fun, doing some shooting, and right now I'm going to shoot some 22s at water jugs. I have, starting with a 22 short up through a 22 Stinger. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I really never shot 22s at water jugs to see what happens. But I got like 8 or 9 water jugs down here, and the same amount of ammo, and I'm going to be back probably about 10 yards because I'm using my RB22 with a scope on it, and you have to be back about 10 yards for the scope to work. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm curious to see what happens. Tell you the truth, starting with a 22 short, and I think it's a round-nosed bullet, so we'll see what it does at the water jug. And if it doesn't turn out to be a disaster, we'll go on up through the ammo and see what happens. I've got the gun in the bog tripod, so I'm trying to hit a specific spot on the jugs. So we'll see how that works out. Helps if you load around. I was aiming at this black dot because I know the bullets at this close drop about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So it made a small hole in the front and a bigger hole out the back. Next, shooting a 22 punch. Now a 22 punch. Well, that was a bit more action, a small hole there, but it ripped up the jug pretty well. Next, a 22 standard velocity. .22 standard velocity. Well, that put a small hole in the front, but ripped out the back a bit. Next, CCI MiniMag round nose. CCI MiniMag round nose. Now that put a small hole in the front and ripped out the back a bit. Next, the CCI MiniMag hollow point. Well, that made a small hole on the way in, but made a little bit bigger hole on the way out with that hollow point. Next, a Winchester round nose. I believe it's going 1,300 feet per second. Well, the round nose bullet made a nice hole here in the front and ripped out the back a little bit. Not bad. Next, a Winchester hollow point going 1435 feet per second. Winchester hollow point going 1435 feet per second. Now, I expected a bit more damage from that one. It made a bigger hole going in here and made a pretty good sized hole going out the back. So far, that's probably the most damage so far. Next, the CCI Velociter going 1435 feet per second. It's also a hollow point. As I would have expected, the hollow point split open the front and also split open the back. This is the Velociter, so it did quite a bit of damage to this one. Next, we have the Abula Interceptor going, I believe it's 1470 feet per second. Again, a hollow point, so we'll see what it does. The Abula Interceptor. I never shot this ammo before. Went in here and made a big hole going out the back, but I don't think it did the devastation of some of the other rounds. So we'll have one more to shoot. Now next we have the CCI Stinger going, I think it's 1640 feet per second, something like that. CCI Stinger. Well, that Made a hole here. Actually made a pretty big hole in the front. A little bit in the back. Water actually splashed back about 7 yards there where I'm shooting from. But I don't think this did as much damage as a couple of the others. But anyhow, I'll shut things down here. Maybe we'll re-look at the jugs and see what we think about what ammo did the best job on them. So, everybody, thanks for being down here. But we'll do a, just in case I don't stick the jugs into this, we'll call it quits. Actually, this Stinger, there's some pieces of bullet in the jug. So, anyhow, we'll take a look. Well, let's take a good look at the jugs again. This is the Stinger. It made, actually the entrance hole is here, and it blew out the front primarily, made a small hole in the back. So that was the Stinger. This was the Abula hollow point. It went in here and blew out the back. Here is the velocitor. It went in right here, made a pretty big hole in the front, and also made a good sized hole in the back. So that hit pretty hard, and I think that pretty well goes along with the old fat dad goober, the shooting he does. Next is the Winchester hollow point, and it went in here, made a good sized hole in the front, and also put a nice split in the back. So this one also hit pretty hard. And this is the Winchester round nose. It went here, small hole in the front, and just ripped out this hole in the back. This is the MiniMag hollow point. Small hole in the front, and ripped out the back. Pretty good size hole in the back. This is the MiniMag round nose. Small hole in the front, and a medium sized hole out the back. This is the CCI standard velocity. A little hole in the front, and just a fair sized hole in the back. Now this is the 22 punch. There's the entry hole with a split in the front and pretty big hole out the back. So the punch did a pretty good job. And then this is the 22 short. Let's see, oh no, that's the exit. Okay, hole going in was right here below this dot. And it split out the jug a little bit. So anyhow, well, that was kind of interesting. Some of those bullets hit pretty hard, or at least make a pretty good explosion. So anyway, thanks for being down here. It's always fun shooting, especially fun shooting 22s. So everybody take care.